G'day guys, it is your one and only PSGD, brought to you by the power of PlayStation and Share Factory. And in this video, a bit like the GT Sport PSVR video, I just wanted to have a little bit of a chat about some of my concerns around PlayStation VR. Now, first and foremost, and it only really came to head last week when the Oculus Rift was announced and they started taking pre-orders for it, was the gentleman who said that PSVR isn't as high-end as the Rift. And, you know, for some reason it really got me worried that VR isn't going to be a quality product. It's an interesting way for these people to do this and spin Oculus against Rift, I guess, hoping that people that were potentially thinking about getting a VR would now consider an Oculus Rift. Now, I didn't really agree with it, and my big concern is, like, it immediately got me worrying that if they're going to bring it in at a lower price point, and Shuhei and Kaz have both said it's got to be treated as a new console launch, then maybe they would cut down or cut back on the quality of the products. And to be honest with you, I got a little bit worried at that point. I guess I hadn't really considered the point that maybe there's a high-end and a low-end VR, and that kind of got me offside. Like, I'm not real happy with those comments from Oculus at this point in time. But anyway, moving on, the next really big concern for me is how this thing's going to be bundled. And I played it at the EB Expo 2015, I think it was October, and for me it was like you had to throw on the headset and then you had to throw on a pair of headphones. So there's two components to VR. I guess you could use speaker sound out of your TV, but then the controllers as well. So maybe we've got to go back and buy controllers. I'm not sure. Or maybe they're going to redesign the Move controllers. Like, I don't even think Move is in production anymore. So, like, how are you going to buy this thing? Are you going to buy a headset and headphones, or a headset by itself, or headset, headphones, and Move? Or, like, I just don't know how they're going to do it. It's a little bit strange, and I'm surprised that we haven't heard anything more about it just yet. And I guess that brings me to probably my next biggest point, probably the only one really that I wanted to get across, and that is, we've heard that VR is going to be available for the PlayStation 4 console in the first 6 months of this year. Now, it's already almost the end of January. I'm predicting June, but, like, hey, why can't we get some momentum behind this platform at the moment? We don't know enough. We know that there's 100 games in development, which is very, very encouraging considering some of the mistakes that PlayStation have made in terms of game support on previous consoles. But, like, why aren't we getting dev diaries? Hey, this is what we're building. This is how we're building it. This is what's going to be available. These are the trophy lists. Like, No Man's Sky, you know, we haven't really seen anything. Like, it's my own opinion that if you want people to start adopting this platform, which is largely untested and untried, you need to get as much in the media as possible to get people convinced to start lining up for it, pre-ordering it, and getting excited about it. And here's a perfect example. In the US, they drive these trucks around and people can play PlayStation products. Why can't they do that in places like Australia? Here, get the VR on board, get a good suite of demos, and then drive it around Australia and get people involved, get people excited, and then this is what's going to happen when VR comes out. People are going to want it so badly they're going to line up for them. But without the commercial knowledge of understanding how marketing for PlayStation works in Australia, I can't really say too much more. I just wish they'd get behind it and start selling it, because it needs to if we're going to launch it in the next 5 months. Anyhow, guys, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this. Always appreciate it. And until next time, enjoy the PlayStation gaming.